thing.
Yeah. So I think actually the biggest winner from that is probably Weaver, in my opinion.
Well, I was trying to think who else buys Scotty nowadays.
Maybe TB sometimes.
Maybe Medusa, but I would
Medusa 25.
Naga?
Imagine that, like you have like the hill strat against you, you get Medusa 25.
Yeah.
Scotty.
This is a Chen with a tear in his eyes. Like I have no impact anymore. Of course, we do have a draft up, and that Timbersaw we were mentioning earlier has already been banned out by the side of VP.Prodigy. So,
yeah, as expected. So Empire Hope in the previous games, obviously the first phase of Lycan, they got Mastery, so you have to respect the Timbersaw. And then other than that, it's going to be default bans. I am surprised with Pugna still being quite high up in the bans for now. Simply, I thought those changes might kind of kick him quite low. The decrypt.
Why?
Because the decrypt, so like level 1 decrypt, right? It used to be like 700 range. It's now like 400. So imagine when creeps mid lane.
True.
The range is now from the melee to the range creep, that distance. It used to be like you could go all the way up to high ground. So now you have to get to such a vulnerable position to maybe save or to annoy that CS.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because typically when it's run as support, you're getting the Nether Ward early on, and then you're maxing your Q. So you're going to have level 1 decrep until level 8, level 9.
Exactly. So in the big team fights, it's like nearly half or whatever. So
yeah, I agree. It was just too long range. Especially you get like an Aether Lens. This guy's got level 1 decrep, and just he's on the edge of the screen, and you're just like, oh well, I'm disarmed now. That's cool.
I'm not CSing now, brother.
Yeah,
it's pretty painful.
It's that risk-reward factor, right? Like he's never at risk when he's doing that. And of course, Ember coming out, still a really popular hero. I think he's the most picked hero still since 7.25 started.
I was talking to Insania the other day, and we just got to talking, and I brought up MMR and how like I was trying to hit 8K and like see if I was still good, blah blah blah. He's like, oh dude, you're doing it wrong. Just pick Ember every game. Play it until you're good at it. You'll go up. Any role doesn't matter. Just play Ember. They did nerf the chains, although there was a typo.
Right?
Yeah,
longer cooldown.
Or it starts 2 above, and I think skills. I don't remember.
I think scales just always longer now, right?
But that's mainly for the coddle, right? It's like the coddle reduction. You now don't have that pairing where it's going to be like slight chains. It's going to be
it's still
chains.
really good, but it's not so stupidly good that it's always effective. Like you play against Coddle Ember in a pub game, and you're just like, I don't know what to do because you can't kill the Ember. The Ember's never out of mana. He's just slight chains, and you're like, well, he got mana, so I know it's up again. I can't actually do anything here.
I finally mustered the courage to play ranked, right? I saw that you were playing lots, so I was like, I'll give it a go. My first game against Coddle Ember, the Ember's a Smurf guy. I'm like, and then I just walked to the line. Get out of here. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Like, I'm not playing Dota anymore.
I love how innocent your thought was into why you played rank. You're like, I saw Carl was playing, I was inspired. Whereas Nicola, I think his statement was, I saw Carl was playing and I wanted easy MMR.
No, but like, all the analysts here, right? Lizard, Kyle, me, Harry Freak, we're all support players at heart, right? Maybe a little bit.
I'm starting to think I'm an offlaner.
Maybe.
There's too many creep farmers nowadays. You even see it sometimes in matches where people just refuse to leave the jungle. And I really want to stress the importance of following the OG mentality. You see, I watched Thompson play the other day, and he's playing the Ember Spirit, and he's like farming enemy hard camp, right? Enemy mid walks up the hill. He stops farming it and just goes to hit him in the face, like forces him back to the tower. Now he goes back to farm. Hit the enemies, take control of their side of the map. That's the key nowadays.
Do you know what I think is the most underrated hero of the patch? I think you might agree with me on this one.
Monkey King.
Spirit Breaker.
There it is.
We're so close. Basically the same thing.
No.
What?
No.
You don't?
He's been living and breathing Spirit Breaker.
Yeah.
It's a good hero to fit your personality type. Block-headed.
Yeah.
Not
I get
the
things
most
done.
Attractive. Yeah.
I go from A to B very quickly.
Just run in mindlessly.
I pair well with allies that can make me. Yeah, don't worry. Moving on.
Yeah, I was like, you're running out quick.
I was clutching.
Get back.
already.
Like when that happens, just claw back at the draft because we have got a Prophet coming out, and before that we.
I love this hero.
As well.
I love Nature's Prophet though. This hero is super underrated still. Blade Mail, they did nerf it slightly. It's now +8 instead of +10 intelligence, but it's still the most cost-efficient item in the game for these int heroes. And you consider that Furion also has the global TP, man. You know how much easier it is to control 2 outposts or to get bounty runes when you can just teleport on top of them?
But I think like it's just the drafting style of this patch so far. Is like you either have the one group up ball or you have like that super mobile skirmishy fight, right? And you can see from the 2 lineups so far, like VP.Prodigy are shifting more towards like mobility, play good lanes, and have that skillful mid game, whilst Empire Hope is a bit more generic, nothing too special. And I think that's why Furion is excelling right now.
Yeah, well, to your point, it does both, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can push, you can split, you can buy the aggressive pickoff items where you could also team fight. I saw no one play a Furion where he had, you go this like Blade Mail, Orchid, BKB Satanic build, and you just teleport into the middle, Mjolnir yourself, pop Blade Mail, and hit things.
Just A-click and go, yeah.
Screaming hit me at them.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to position and get involved in fights when you can just global teleport into them.
But the important thing is, even though it is a very good hero for that, it does fall victim to that. If the team can group up early enough and have a solid lane, Nature Prophet doesn't really like taking the pure 5-on-5s unless you have all those items, right?
Yep.
So it can fall very quick to, oh wait, they're taking our towers. We can't be the ones being mobile. We can't move towards you.
But also, some of the best talents in the game right now. Level 10,
armor, attack,
free damage.
Damage, attack speed, and armor, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that level 20, like plus 10 armor is significant. It's a free, I always like to think about talents and how they're applied when it comes to gold, right? So your level 10 talent is like 2,500 gold because it's just, I think it's 30 damage, which is insane. It might be 25 now. I think they changed it. And level 20, it's 10 armor. It's 1,400 gold. It's just so much you're getting.
And then on the armor front, like you already mentioned, he gets that plus 10. He has one of the higher agi gains out of all the int heroes in the game, right? So it's just, he becomes now unkillable.
It was the classic HFN K3 build. It was Treads, Drum, AC, Mjolnir, BKB, go.
And I did some thinking about this because I think drums, I've seen a lot of people picking it up early. I really think this item is underrated. When you consider the active, it's a passive plus 20 attack speed. The active is plus 35 for 6 seconds. Consider Beastmaster max aura is 40, right? Talent's 25. So it's like slightly less than a level 25 talented Beastmaster aura for those 6 seconds. And passive 20 is actually quite significant. I think that we're going to see more of it picked up as some of the more, like, as effectively we nerf all these regen items. I think you're going to see more of an emphasis. Like Pipe just took a big hit, the headdress change, the recipe cost increase now 2 patches in a row.
But actually, what you said about the headdress, that's the saddest thing. Like playing, not being able to go 2 tangos headdress at the start of a game, it really hurts. Like you have to then go like 1 tango, pull your mid, and then you have to use
or the mid can just start buying their own damn tangos, all right?
Can we start?
It's 2020,
It's 2020. You know, for the love of God, you have your own courier. Buy your own tangos,
yeah,
right?
Kyle. Yeah, preach it. Thank you. Actually, that's a solid point. We are probably getting to a stage where you could just, they buy like double circle it on some, like, just get rid of the branch. Tango.
Do you think we've just got to a point where like the supports, it's ingrained in their mind so much they just do it out of habit? Like I was playing a few games the other night and both my supports ended up giving twice the amount of tangos required to the mid, and they just looked at each other awkward like, what happened there?
It's the sacrificial mindset. Like position 5 naturally, like we don't need items, we will enable the rest of the team, right? But we're way past that. Like we're way past the days of your 5 having nothing. He's meant to, the fact that you have, like, there's so much, like, obviously gold's being nerfed, but there's still so much gold on the map, the fact that there's so many ways for a 5 to have a game that you don't really need to be that sacrificial anymore. And if you are, you're probably handicapping your team because it's just not what's needed. So, mids by your tangos. Let's start. That's step 1.
All right. Well, we have had the draft progress since we got in this tandem. Prophet was a while ago, and now we're starting to see these starting to round up. Let's talk a little bit about the most recent picks, especially the Underlord coming out, a hero that seems to be getting a little bit more popular again.
Surprisingly, it's very good against the Wraith King in the laning phase. And personally, back in Cole, when we used to play, we loved Rubik Underlord. It's very easy. You pit, lift back into the pit. It becomes like a 5-second lockdown, and you just have so much control, and then the damage output's there if they're stuck in the fire.
And look at Empire's Hope's lineup, right? You've got the Wraith King, physical damage carry, Tusk. He wants to be active, and if you already take away one lane where he can't really get kills, it's going to make his game a lot harder.
That late game, you're getting snowballed. Let me just drop a pit, go stand in it. You're immediately going to be rooted as you come out of it.
It just ties up their draft nicely because you have this like Ember natures. They want to be very mobile, move around the map. Underlord's that kind of grounding factor where they can play around him very easily. He moves to an objective. You can have all this mobility around, but you have this Underlord as that key component. If the fight's bad, get out. If it's good, you're going to snowball them.
It's easier to play. It's sort of deceptively... Underlord's like, you want to play in the hard lane. You want to be pressing down creep waves alone, farming enemy jungle, being aggressive. But it's more difficult to do that if you don't have that global mobility. So you effectively keep your allies safe that are more mobile but squishier because you're taking the hard areas of the map. You're applying pressure, so you kind of have to go address this Underlord. Yet then the Ember, the Fury, and they always kind of have you in the back of their mind.
Like,
if too many heroes commit, then all of a sudden you're in the middle of a team fight, the TPs come in.
Yeah, exactly. It's like also like the pseudo Timbersaw, right? Timbersaw and Underlord will do the same thing. Of course, Underlord has less laning presence, but if picked correctly, it can. But it's going to have that same, I'm going to move towards your tower. If you want to kill me, you have to bring in the correct amount of heroes. So
I will say, I'm surprised they didn't go for a Bristleback instead. I just think that hero is busted, especially in a game with Timbersaw banned. But it's very much like it's more of a complicated pick. I think it's harder to fit into the draft.
It's so hard to execute, I think, with this type of line, right? It's going to be easy to run, but like you don't have that simple, how do we go to an objective, right?
Exactly. It's a more complicated game,
them, but you can't take.
Suddenly your Bristle's like sort of your pseudo carry.
Yeah.
So you need specific heroes. Like you wouldn't want to have like Razor, Bristle, Ember as an example, as we see here with the last pick Razor. This, however, makes a ton of sense. You've got the big tank. You got Razor probably going to go for the Yules build, as we've seen many times. Maybe a Drums, who knows? And then Ember Fury make plays.
This allows them to run at them as well, right? Because you've got that movement speed aura. Of course, movement speed's been changed around a little bit, but that's still really good in this lineup that has the Underlord to front you.
I think the main thing though is the fact you have Ember and Razor, right? Mid and carry, you can chop and change where they're going to go. Empire Hope still need to pick a last pick. Their draft, it feels already quite counted due to the fact you have this Underlord Rubik lane.
Wraith King feels miserable already. What in the mid game you're just going to get kited. You have to deal with sprouts and chains and links and roots.
Is this a cookie cutter
Not a fan
pick?
of this Lina, I don't think. I don't think any. If it's going to be core Lina, but core Lina just doesn't really have that vibe. I think it's hard to really get behind that. I think VP.Prodigy, the fact that you have this natures that can come and collapse on the mid tower. Lina doesn't like Fury and TPing. That's what's so good about this hero, right? You get that early levels, you collapse on mid, take that tier 1 tower, you unlock that access to the jungle, and then you're going to have Razor running you as well. Wraith King, he's going to need to farm.
Objective taking for Empire Hope is based upon their Wraith King or Abaddon getting free lanes, and then having the luxury of just walking up to the tower and smacking it 100 times. I don't think you're going to get that. VP.Prodigy, they can play so fast. They're going to take tier 1s earlier, and then it's a really rough game for Empire Hope because their mid position, their Grimstroke, they're very exposed. There's a lot of catch and run at you from VP.Prodigy, and depending on the build Wraith King goes, I just don't see him having a game. He's going to get kited until BKB, and you don't want to have to go early BKB on a Wraith King.
That's the nuts part, though, right? Like, I remember the start of the draft, we were saying Empire Hope looked like they want to fight a lot, but now do you feel like Prodigy have the fight and the push?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So where is the hope for Empire in this draft?
It's all about overcoming, like if VP.Prodigy maybe go aggressive, maybe they muck up one rotation, they don't really get that early tower, they kind of deflect that aggression, then suddenly you have Wraith King itemize, like, gets to that first key item, and then they play around the bit. And the issue is I just don't see the lanes going that well, because Razor side lane,
I think you gotta try lane this. You've got to make this Underlord miserable.
Sure.
I don't know how to do that because of Fury, and this is the benefit of the hero, especially from the support role. You win every lane you show up in if you have even numbers, and oftentimes even a 2-on-3 scenario, the Furion lane can at least trade. So it's definitely an uphill battle for Empire Hope. I think this Lina's got to go off.
Yeah, that's the thing. Luckily, Lina does pair well against Razor and Ember, so no matter what it is mid, Lina will have a decent time. It's can you get those movements, like the 4-minute rune, can you actually maybe make a good gank to take the side lanes? If the Underlord's had a hard time, take his now. Yeah.
Lina's your primary wave clear. Without Lina having an excellent game, you're going to have troubles.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, so really it comes down to Lina and whether she can have a big enough impact to give Empire Hope in hell of bringing down Prodigy in this first game. But to take you through the action, we have got Nomad and 1437 on the line. Take it away, boys.
Hey guys, thank you very much, and you guys looking lovely in that studio. But yeah, let's get into it. Virtus.Prodigy versus Empire Hope. 2 teams, 1 game, and 1 spot left in this league, and they're going to be battling out for it. But I think the odds look stacked pretty highly in Virtus.Prodigy's favor, right, Theban?
Right, and knowing that they've only lost a series against Virtus.Pro themselves since the time that this team has been formed, that's really scary, man. I'm looking forward to what this team has to show in this final series.
Yeah, they've been winning everything, and I mean, they haven't really been involved in that much so far. A very new team, but I'm excited to watch them play. These guys seem pretty good. Empire Hope, however, not quite the same success, but hey, I mean, they've made it to the finals, so maybe this could be their moment to shine. If they can take down Virtus.Prodigy, then they'll certainly prove to people that they are not a team to be messed around with. And to be fair to this team, they are an upstart team. They've got a lot of unknown players on their team. They kind of formed as an entirely unknown stack, and they've had some really good results versus some other of the CIS tier 2 teams. which are very well known. You know, teams like Team Spirit, they've been able to take down before. I'm struggling to remember off the top of my head who else they've taken down, but they've certainly pulled off some good results in the past. So don't completely underestimate this team, but certainly, you know, it would be an upset if they were to take down Virtus.Pro here as we start things off. Bit of a battle for the runes right now, and it is going to be Empire Hope taking 2 of the starting bounty runes. So far, Virtus.Pro only able to grab themselves 1, but they'll be able to grab the other one up at the top to make it a nice 2 for 2.
Yeah, this laning stage is going to be very scary for Empire Hope. I think, like, they don't have a lot of room for error here. They need to play absolutely perfectly, especially considering that they're going for a 2-1-2 with the Tusk. Normally when you play Tusk, you actually start together with 3 heroes and utilize that tag team. Maybe get like a first blood, and then you TP to the other lane and help that out. But since they're starting 2v2, 2-1-2, they don't have that, you know, early power where they can just get this quick first blood and get some momentum going for themselves. And this Nature's Prophet, like you saw that bounty rune, how much damage that Abaddon took. That's going to be the entire story of this bottom lane. And Ember is not an easy hero to kill whatsoever.
Know your place.
No, he's certainly not. He's a pain in the ass to kill. But, you know, whilst we got this pause, I think we should address the elephant in the room. Theban, you know, you took a hiatus from Dota, didn't you? You went over to Underlords. What brings you back?
Well, I was rank 1 in Underlords, and I won pretty much all the tournaments I was able to play in, but that kind of dried up since, you know, no other tournaments left. So I decided, why not come back? Yeah, why not come back and play some more Dota? And you know what? I actually love this game. Like, after playing a few games, I was like, wow, it's so new, it feels so nice, and I just started playing again. And just like the past 2 days, I gained like 400 MMR or something, so I'm on my way, man. I'm on my way.
Nice, on the up and up. Alrighty, so pretty timely unpause there from the 2 teams. We get back into this. So, looking towards this middle lane, we've got the Razor and the Lina. Lina, which, by the way, you called very early on in the draft, so congrats on that. But how does this matchup usually go?
I think there's a lot depending on the Lina. I think she needs to really understand how to play in this matchup. If she gets that early boost or the early movement speed, and this Razor gets hit a few many times with Dragon Slaves, it's really, really difficult for the Razor. I think the Razor is going to be the one who's at a disadvantage if the Lina knows exactly how to play this matchup properly. And I'm sure he does. Like, all these mid guys in these teams, they freaking study these matchups day in, day out, even in their sleeps sometimes.
Yeah, the mid players into the CS region are just ridiculously good. I mean, they've got like thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in pubs just spamming out mid after mid. Yeah, you say if he's able to dodge out these Dragon Slaves, but how do you dodge a Dragon Slave? How do you not get hit by a Dragon Slave?
Well, it's really dependent on the positioning of your creeps and where they are. And like, if you can try to predict when the Dragon Slaves are about to come up while still threatening to deny the creep, then you can, like, you know, dodge it. But it's not that easy to do. As you can see, FN is already sitting at half health. He's like ready to use his flask, where the Lina doesn't really have any threat of you know, being taken out or even losing that much health, since, you know, Razor's the one who's gonna run into that big nuke inside the lane. And I think it's only gonna get worse for the Razor as the lane progresses.
Alrighty, meanwhile down in this bottom lane, it's a bit of a kerfuffle down here as we've got this Ember Spirit trying to lane up into Mastery and James on the Tusk and the Abaddon, which sounds like it should be a pretty scary lane, but so far Ember Spirit's doing pretty damn well for himself at 7 and 6 compared to the Abaddon 6 and 4. A lot of nice and epileptic kids so far, and he's been left not alone. I mean, the Prophet's been pretty far out of lane, but he might suffer for this now actually as they start the aggression. He's going for the TP out immediately. Is he going to get it? He is just about going to get away from Mastery and James here, and finally coming back to this lane to lay in a bit of harass down onto Mastery, and actually nearly threatening his life here. Won't be able to quite finish the job, but still close.
Yeah, that TP feels really bad, especially since he doesn't have that many resources. So if somehow in this lane he does die, he's not going to be able to come back. But fortunately for him, he already had some stats flying out, and the Nature's Prophet can always TP back to base, right, and bring him some more regen to this Ember Spirit if needed as well.
True. That's absolutely going to help out the Ember a lot. An interesting matchup down in this bottom lane. Meanwhile, up at top, we got ourselves DM on this Underlord versus Tatake and Ekinart. Ekinart, he is like the #1 Grimstroke player in my opinion. Like, this guy has played so much Grimstroke. It's every single time I think I've seen him play a competitive game, he's at least had one game in a series where he's been playing on this Grimstroke. And now that it's like popular, he's probably feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, and they're just playing the lane to like farm, get experience and such. You can see the Wraith King himself in his build. He's not going any points into Wraith Fire Blast whatsoever. And they're just like trying to pull as much as they can. They know that this Underlord lane is just not like winnable, since Underlord is really, really good against all these high HP and melee units, melee heroes.
Yeah, I wonder if the skeletons give a point in Archfiora when they die, because they died twice, and that doesn't sound like a good idea for DM, but that seems okay for the time being.
Oh yeah, look at his damage. He's got 2 points in that aura, and it's just chaos up in this top lane. Like, this Wraith King is gonna suffer so much. And the Tuskers decide to TP top 2. They know that this lane is gonna get really, really hard.
But surely they're looking for a kill if they've got the Tusk here, right?
Oh yeah, with that tag team, but he doesn't have a stun yet on the Wraith King.
He's got to close the gap somehow. Nice shards coming out onto safety. The Rubik could be in trouble. Fable bouncing through all three, and actually the damage coming back the other way. And with an H Prophet coming on in, James is actually going to be the one to lose his life in this. Empire Hope try to find the aggressive maneuver, but end up losing a hero themselves. Not how you want things to go up in this top lane.
Yeah, that Nature's Prophet TP was really nice, especially with the Blightstone. But the worst part out of all that is the Tusk now doesn't have a TP. He can't show up into any other lane. So he's going to have to make that walk of shame somewhere on the map.
Yeah, he has got brown boots, but so it's not going to be, it's more like a light jog of shame, but still doesn't feel good at all to be making that movement. Meanwhile, in this middle lane, the Razor has really started to take over, 26-8 compared to Lightless's 23-3. So a bit of an advantage here for the Razor, and he's about to hit his level 6. But meanwhile, we have the Rubik going down up in the top lane.
Oh.
So they find a return kill at last. Yeah.
Look at the mid lane. There's a Tusk here, and he's got Laguna Blade on the Lina. So there's a lot of threat coming out onto the Razor at this point. So let's see what they can do with this catapult. There's a very key timing for Empire. This is where they can possibly break this Razor and give a slight advantage to Lina.
Yeah, still no snowball on this Tusk. He's just going to use the shards to cancel out the salve. So they know he's here now, but it's probably worth. Yeah, they want to try and keep this catapult alive or get under the tower or something, but nothing really happening. James struggling to start this game off, but does now pick up this Invis rune. Maybe he can make something happen with that. And does now hit that level 3, holding the third skill point. We'll see what he decides to go for eventually.
Yeah, and I think VP, like the way they VP.Prodigy, how they're playing, it's like Save is always ready to cover this Razor. They're not trying to make that super aggressive move, but more focus on getting the levels and covering one another. And we saw mid lane, like just being there to make sure that tower doesn't die when the catapult comes. And now the Razor's just gonna go back, heal up, reset everything, buy as much HP items as he can, and top lane.
Top lane, yeah, this Underlord could be in some trouble. They've got the full duration. Inkswell does come off just before he gets tossed away by Save, so DM will be losing his life here, but James might be the trade as 9 TP's in once again here. James can't get himself out, even tries to get the shards, but doesn't quite work out for him. He ate a tree, but there was another tree waiting right behind it, so that is rather unfortunate.
That Firestorm does so much damage to these strength heroes since it's percentage-based damage, and even though they did kill that Underlord, like this Wraith King being half health really doesn't make him feel too comfortable. Now that the Underlord is just going to TP back top, they're going to do the exact same thing again. They're just going to come back here, bully him with some more Firestorms with the lift, and this time there's a Nature's Prophet here as well and a catapult, so this top tower can be in danger.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, Thebes. I'm looking towards the left-hand side of my screen at these last hits, and it's not looking too peachy for old Empire Hope here.
Yeah, they really needed Lina's lane to go much better than this, especially since she's going to be the tempo controller, and she needed to make this Razor suffer a lot. And this Razor doesn't seem like he was phased whatsoever battling against Lina. Yeah, and I think this is where like the Tusk had to do something to like shift the favor in the Lina just for like one wave or two. That way, like she can just keep bullying her in the lane, but that just didn't happen, and the Tusk ended up dying top instead. So he might have just ended up missing his timings altogether now.
Yeah, hopefully they can find some kind of... do you just now try and make as many things happen on Team Empire Hope to try and get back into this one by kind of causing disruption, using your Tusk to the best of your ability, or do you just kind of accept these lanes have gone badly and then try and make
bottom
your way
lane first.
Yeah, going pretty deep onto Mastery here, but I'm not entirely sure they're actually threatening with a kill. Nah, he's just relaxing. Borderline level 6 here actually on Mastery, so just gonna sit in the trees, try and reach it. They know this, but at the same time they probably know he's pretty close as well. Pretty risky to try for this, and Lightless actually shows up, seen by a Hexy Kid, can't actually get off the stun unfortunately, so it's a pretty lackluster rotation from Lightless, but he was just jungling, decided to stick his head in.
Yeah, that play was all about protecting the catapult. If you saw, they were even sprouting it.
Also in some trouble here, and by some trouble I mean he's absolutely shredded by FN, just waiting from that high ground. Not much the Tusk can do about that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, James is really having a tough game, and he's not sure where he needs to be on the map at this point, because all the heroes on VP side, you just seem like they just have too much HP, too much stats, not so easy to kill on top lane.
He's good. A nice timely lift coming in from his homeboy Save. Living up to his name.
That's a Phase Boots Buckler Underlord. He is not dying anytime soon, that's for sure. Unless there's a rotation from his Lina that's going to come out as well.
All things considered, things could be going better, but it's not. No, it's pretty damn bad actually. A 2k advantage. They're trying to make something happen again with DM up here, but with Save just sitting behind him with that lift available, it's just too scary. I mean, it wasn't cooldown for that one, but they just couldn't do it anyways. Awkward, to say the least. And James is just really struggling to do anything. I'm really surprised he hasn't gone for a point in the snowball at level 3. Meanwhile, Lightless could be in some trouble here. Epileptic Kid chasing him down. This Lina can't die like this, but unfortunately it doesn't look like he's going to have much of a choice. Nightlight strike away, but unfortunately the trees will catch her, and Lightless loses his life. That is not good. But meanwhile, Wraith King up at top might be suffering a similar fate here, as they are able to run him down once. Can they get him a second time, though? I don't think so. Tatake should be able to just run himself out of this one, but it does threaten him. Oh yeah, he's getting real low here. James is able to finish the job, but James will lose his life in response. Meanwhile, Ekanat might be heading the same way as well. South not going to do much for him, and a long right click from Epileptic going to finish the job. Trade. Not a great trade, though, for Empire Hope. In fact, I don't think they've made a single great trade this game. And now the gold advantage ticks over to 3k at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, this is going to be VP's next attack or assault. Like the catapults are out from the 10-minute waves, and we can see that Underlord, top lane, and Rubik, they're all preparing to outnumber this Wraith King top lane. And we've got a Nature's Prophet teleporting in with his Trents as well. Even the rotation for the Ember, it really wants this tower.
Close. They use the trees for the vision, but unfortunately not quite quickly enough. The Wraith King makes the heads-up play to TP himself out and get himself to that bottom jungle. Of course, they just killed him off earlier, so that opens up for a gank. Tower, just as good though. They're trying to make the mirror play here. Well, I say that. Abaddon desperately trying to kill creeps as fast as he can, which unfortunately for Team Empire Hope is not very fast. They want the mid lane though. They're going up to FN once again here. They need some help, but he's not going to get it. FN is going to die. The TP's coming through thick and fast. Epileptic Kid sitting on the front lines here, feeling pretty safe with that level 6. In fact, all the way up to level 8 now. Just bouncing around heroes.
Very nice play from Empire, because by doing that play on the Razor, they actually stopped the top tower push. And BB had to abandon that catapult there just at the tier 1. I was thinking that they were about to go to the tier 2 tower and start pressuring that as well, but because the Razor getting caught out mid lane and forcing his team to react to it, they've halted VP's pressure to just a tier 1 top.
Yeah. I like it though.
Yeah.
I like Team Empire Hope are able to make some kind of play like this. Unfortunately, Tusk could be in some trouble now. Nice use of the shards once again there. And actually, with the shield coming out onto him, he's able to get some value out of the rune regeneration. So that's kind of cute. Doesn't ultimately get much done, but you know, sends a message.
Yeah, I really like Empire's playstyle. I'm sorry, Virtus.pro's playstyle, because how they play is they just farm and then they wait for those 5-minute timings with the catapults, and that's the time where they choose to apply pressure. And anything in between that, they're always trying to like protect their cores and like counter the fights. So they don't have to like do too many things inside the games where they just like follow their kind of like a strict game plan that they have. Because if you watch this game, they haven't really applied any pressure apart from the time that they did have their catapults alongside them in like every single lane pretty much.
Yeah.
And they always try to relieve the pressure from the catapults as well.
Yeah, and they're kind of sitting up hill looking at Epileptic Kid farm, but Epileptic Kid could actually see him the whole time there. They had the wards up on the high ground, so they were pretty ready for that.
Yeah, right now we're going to have a big stalemate until the 15-minute bounty runes come. I think we're going to probably see a decent fight, since Ember Spirit does have a lot of items already at this stage, and then after that, we're probably going to be a huge assault on either one of these mid towers. And after this 15 minute, the game's really going to explode here because that's the timing for pretty much both of the teams. And Lina really wants to show off this Yules and her high levels that she was able to farm up throughout this game.
Pushing down
actually they're going to mid right now.
Probably going to get this. Fortify comes out, but those Treants still doing their job. Mastery trying to get the silence out onto an Electric Kid, but of course has the Remnant. And, you know, this is awkward. You've got the Lina there, you've got the Abaddon there, but neither of them have the instant lockdown to stop them just running away to a Remnant. And now they come storming back in with FN on the front lines as well. Lightless just going to try and repel them for the time being. And now hold on to this middle tier 1 tower for now. But I'm sure Virtus.pro really want to get that one down.
Yeah, it's looking a lot like they're gonna play around the bottom lane first for the bounty runes. Try maybe, you know, walk into a jungle and then straight away just go for the mid tower. But top,
he's messing around a little bit here, and there's been a silence thrown onto the Ember Spirit, but the Ace Prophet's the one in trouble. It has given them space for Ekanart to run him down, but Epileptic Kid just cutting off the route of escape. He's got a Remnant up available for himself. They're trying to look for it, but it is way out in the distance, so he's going to get himself up at mid. Yeah, you're right. There's more action going on here, but a nice Pit of Malice going to slow them down. Ekanart, he's just dying to the flames, actually. He just loses his life just like that. They're trying to do something on the front lines here, but Save will be dying. They do take down Tatake once. Meanwhile, Underlord, he's the one being taken right now. Maybe James can finish the job with the top one. They will be able to do so, but in the front, yeah, Lina shielded up by Mastery, keeping him alive for the time being. Epileptic Kid dancing around a little bit. They will force back the side of Team Empire Hope, not getting themselves many kills. I mean, just as a couple of supports getting brought down, and for the Underlord, it's an okay cost, but now their tier 1 tower falls at mid. I'm not too sure how worth it that is for Empire Hope. I think Virtus.pro might have just found themselves a little bit of advantage in that trade once again.
Yeah, that last fight was like a prime example of all the collateral damage that comes out from VP's lineup. Like, you got these plasma fields and Fade Bolt and Firestorm. It's like absolute chaos in the fight where you're not even expecting to die, but this Wraith King just wasn't even focused and just died through all the AoE spells. And that's probably like a foreshadow of what's going to be happening in this game pretty much in every single battle here on out.
Well, that doesn't look too good for Team Empire Hope then.
Yeah, and I think like one good sign is that the Abaddon can heal up and protect some of that damage, like how the Lina survived. And if they do that to a target they focus, they could definitely turn a fight around.
That's how they turn it. Okay, well, they're trying to do that right now as James unfortunately doesn't get the roll away. It still is inside the pit, so just turns around, gives him a punch, but he will be taken out of the equation here. He's cleaned up in the bottom lane, but that's an okay death, I feel. You're quite far out of your side of the map. You force 5 heroes to rotate down here. You're making space for Tatake to keep on farming. He's now got this armlet finished up. He's going for the Shadow Blade into Blade Mail. So a lot of value items coming out from Tatake, realizing that this game could get hot real quick, and he wants to be able to withstand the heat.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really up to this Wraith King and the item build it goes. Normally I see people enjoying the Radiance build and such, but this is just way too fast of a game coming out from VP.Prodigy here. You just can't go for a super greedy build like that at all.
No, far too much pressure being put on them for that. You shall wait.
Yeah.
But do
and
you
now
think
at this point... Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, do you think there's a timing, there's a lack of timing on the side of Team Empire Hope? Because at least with the Radiance, it would give you something to play around. But, do you want to play around Shadowblade particularly? Do you want to play, you've already got the Yules on the Lina, whatever her next item is going to be. I just feel like they're not going to really hit a huge peak with this build.
Yeah, they don't really have like an option. I think they just have to do what they can. Like, for example, they just sacrifice top and mid lane just so they can get this one tower bottom and try to gain some map control back. And they're just gonna probably want to look for like that one crazy smoke where they can pick one person off and just chain that into multiple kills. That's pretty much like Empire's biggest chance of like coming back into this game.
We'll see if they can manage that. Jay's going to be a core component in that, but hasn't had the best of games on this Tusk so far. In fact, he's lowest in net worth, despite supposedly being the 4. But to be fair, he's actually buying sentries as well, so he might have just accepted. This laning phase has gone so bad, I've actually gone down in position in my team. Oh dear.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like, oh, the mid lane. This could be a decent fight, depending on who Empire is able to get. Nope, they're just going to back off. Tier 2 top tower, or Tier 2 top already died. So you're going to have to go back and defend that wave that's coming in.
Yeah, VP.Prodigy had already done enough up at top, so they knew they could come down to mid and sort it out.
Yeah, it feels like the story of this game just started from the laning stage where Virtus.pro Prodigy just had like much better laning heroes on the 2 side lanes especially. And because of that, Empire's Tusk, like James didn't really have an option to go to a lane and like help it, because they decided to start with the 2-on-2 opposed to like starting 3 heroes somewhere and like at least making sure one of the lane wins. And it feels like they're just being punished just by the laning stage alone. Oh,
Ember
mid
doesn't get
gonna
stunned.
jump out.
Yeah, it's
That is
just
so tough,
Ember
man. That is
things.
tough. Yeah, and this was, let's not forget, this was the first pick Ember Spirits, and he's having such a good game, and it just kind of feels like he was completely uncountered as well.
True. Yeah, he's having a free game right now, Epileptic Kid. Absolutely free. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a kerfuffle in the jungle as they're looking towards mastery here. The tree's coming down from Iron. They might be able to pop his borrowed time at least, but actually with the double snowball coming down along with the Phantom's Embrace holding these 2 heroes down together, they will take down Save, but meanwhile in the back lines, they've also able to take down the first life of Wraith King. Not really worth it for now on the double buyback. Virtus.pro Prodigy, they want to make something happen here, and starting with a kill onto Eckenhart and onto James as well. Both the supports going down, but considering the alternating supports both fall back into this one, this is a hugely profitable engagement for Empire Hope, but they're looking for more. And Tatake being very greedy by going for these Ancients and cutting off his escape. They see him, but they turn towards Alina instead. They want the easier kill. She's got the Yules, and actually Empire Hope looking to maybe come into this one. Tatake throws a stun. I'm not sure about that one, Chief. He is getting his way back towards the tier 2 tower, but Ember Spirit cutting off his escape. He's going towards the trees, but Iron, he's got those trees to be able to see him himself. And now the Ember are going to close the gap. They're TPing in the Grimstroke. They really don't want to lose this guy, but they won't have a choice. He is going to drop for a second time here, and that's a Wraith King taken out, and Eckenhart's going to go the same way as well with a questionable TP. Just wanted to desperately try hope beyond hope to save the Wraith King, but wasn't able to do so, and yikes. That was looking pretty good for a Team Empire Hope until they just got a little bit greedy, a little bit lazy, and then you pay the big price.
That was a kerfuffle, all right. I believe that's the word that you use, right?
Twas indeed, yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my aim throughout this event, is to teach you some British mannerisms, and we'll start with kerfuffle today.
Yeah, that was actually absolutely insane. That's what you call a save a buddy syndrome right there.
Yeah.
Kicking into effect for Empire after they had really good results.
Yeah, and James is going to try and stay as close to Epileptic Kid as possible. Will get nothing. I mean, again, you know, this is just really easy for the Ember Spirit. Every single time, he just jumps away. It almost feels like he's just trying to bait out as many skills as possible, and then when he gets low, he's like, all right, see you later, buds. I'm out of here.
And he's going for a Radiance now. He doesn't feel any stress whatsoever in this game. He doesn't need to go any, like, random items that help him survive or anything. He's going Vessel, straight Radiance. He feels like a freaking boss in this game, and that nobody can stop him. So let's see if that is true and that is the right play. It just kind of feels like the longer this game goes, where and BP is just like building up this lead, it's like Empire doesn't know how to catch these guys on BP who are constantly split pushing and controlling the map all together. They got this tier 1 tower middle, but what after that?
What now? Exactly. I mean, they did finally get it. You know, got to give them that. They've been trying for a very long time for this tower at mid, and yeah, unfortunately, it's getting a bit late in the game for that to make that much of a difference to the whole play of things. But
yeah, they do have this timing with the Abaddon having Vladimir's and Medallion, where they have a bit more, I would say, or maybe about the same like team fight items. But I feel like VP's potential is just much greater in like the scope of items that they can, you know, buy into here in this game.
Yeah, they are abusing that as well, obviously with the Radiance Spirit Vessel build on the Ember Spirit. Now, the chain's onto Abaddon trying to get himself out to it, might have to pop the borrowed time here. Meanwhile, they're actually coming on the sidelines, trying to drop the Laguna onto the Ember Spirit. Can they lock him down for enough here? I think they're going to get this kill. He's going to die. The leash, it's perfect. And now they move forwards onto DM as well, and this is going to be a second kill without a doubt. Team Empire Hope come barreling in, find themselves a kill. This is big. They can move into this.
Yeah, that's insane. They got Vladimir, they got the Medallion, a death around the mid lane. This is exactly what the VP had to do for Empire to make their way back in.
Yeah,
and that's an Ember who died too.
Calls. Yeah, the guy who's being greedy has escaped every other engagement and has queued up this Radiance.
Let's not forget
that.
exactly. His gold is collecting interest, right? Is this there's interest in this game? 3,000 gold in his bank account? Nope.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
I don't know how that counts as interest.
All right. Well,
it does
he's
count interest
decided
for the
to
enemy
skip
team.
on that Radiance and go straight into Maelstrom now instead, because like he just lost a fight, they lost the Aegis, they're about to lose map control because of this, and he just realizes that he cannot afford to waste another 2,000 plus gold farming up for his first item. So he's gone straight into that Maelstrom and has to adapt in this game. So the game has completely shifted after that one play on the mid lane.
It has indeedy. It has indeed. But Virtus.pro, they're still looking for something here, and that something is going to be the Wraith King. Is anybody going to come in time for this one? Arena Spawn coming in. James making his way over. He needs to get in range for the snowball, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make anything happen out of this one. Tatake is just going to lose his life. His team not close by enough. And Virtus.pro, they're still feeling aggressive right now. And Lilas is going to be the next target. She's got herself that BKB. Might have to pop it if she wants to stand a chance of getting out of this one, but she's going to let the Aegis fall instead. I'm not sure about that one. There's a buyback available in the Wraith King if they really want to do this right now. I'm not sure they should. They're going to try and take Lilas down. Just with right clicks, they've got the chains coming down with the trees. They will get this kill. Light Tracker Ray comes out along with the Laguna just before she dies, but it doesn't make a difference. Ekanal gets run down on the high ground, sitting on top of this Abaddon. They're looking for the +1, adding it all up to a +4 here as they take down nearly everybody on the side of Team Empire Hope. Who cares? They just keep
I mean, what do you do when you just lose a fight and lose Roshan? Just run at them, apparently. You just catch a Wraith King out of position, and then one by one they fall. Again, same thing. Empire, save a buddy syndrome. They just can't help it.
They really can't, no. And I mean, it all starts with Tatake losing his life there. And you look back on that and you think, should he really be in that far out of the lane by himself with no TP points really that close to him? Well, I think the answer's got to be no. They're trying to bring down the Underlord quickly here, and they actually can do that. Fair enough. Fair enough. His TP not quite happening quickly enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every one of these deaths is like an opening for the enemy to like come back and regain map control. So that's very nice. And look at this.
FN, this is the way you want to be right now. He does indeed, and he is going to pop it, and maybe even look for the turnaround here. Looking towards James, they've got save coming on over. I'm already in the neighborhood, but unfortunately they don't have their own spirit for now, and Ein actually might be the one in trouble. They've already got the dust on Tim. See you later, buddy. Yeah, that's the dieback.
70 seconds.
The Prophet.
Yeah, and this was because of the Underlord, right? He stayed bottom too long, he died, and now they chased out looking for more people, and then someone else dies. Now they're going to be with 4 heroes for another 50 seconds as well. And there it is, another pickoff. Oh, wow.
So sloppy, but I'll tell you what, this ancient camp down in the bottom dire side, this ancient camp is a camp of death. It's gotten so many people killed this game. I mean, firstly, we had Empire Hope when the Wraith King stayed to farm that one. He ended up dying. Lena ended up dying. Just now we have the Razor, FN, doing the same thing. What is it about this camp?
Listen, okay? Cores and Ancients. All right, they're inseparable. All right, I was playing Phantom Assassin earlier. I died in the same exact spot. Okay, I just realized that afterwards. It doesn't matter how ahead you are or how behind you are. You see Ancients and you can kill them. You're gonna go for it. Okay, that's just what happens.
Ancient camps, name more iconic.
Don't ask. All right, support players will never understand. Okay, the love cores have for Ancients.
I can see that. It seems Ancients above all else. Well. Will be a very short pause. Leptic Kid says, yeah, it's time to go. Let's get into this one.
You know what? I'm really digging the Shadow Blade by this Wraith King. It's actually like he needs it because he needs to catch these guys on the map, and nobody else is gonna do it.
No, that's true. That's true. He is actually building into Silver Edge as well, so wants to disable some passives. I'm not sure which passive he's looking to disable though.
Well, I think it's more about the stats and the extra, like, and Underlord, right? Underlord's passive is, like, kind of big, where it reduces, like, your whole team's damage. So, I mean, that could be helpful for that. But in general, it's just, like, the upgrade to the item.
Yeah, sure.
Very nice.
Natural upgrade. Although the fact that he's wanting to upgrade his Shadow Blade yet still hasn't upgraded his Magic Stick triggers me a little bit. Interesting priorities there.
Again, supports will not understand.
Oh, okay, we keep on going with this. Meanwhile, Ekanaz just gets zapped into oblivion by FN here. Thought he could come in and make something happen, but completely underestimating the damage of this Razor with his ulti up.
Yeah, it seems like when one of the teams gets ahead or like they get a few kills, they start to overestimate their ability, like where they can be on the map or how far they can farm. And it's like they just get instantly punished for it. And it just keeps going back and forth nonstop in this game. But fortunately for VP, they got that super fast farming lineup going, so they still got very good map control and pushing the lanes. Oh boy.
This isn't the hero you want this to
I've
happen
seen this
right
movie
now.
before.
Yeah, we have. It's like we're watching a repeat, but this is live, and Take is losing his life for a second time.
But this time, his team is nearby.
Yeah, they might try and try for something, but honestly, Wraith King taking so much damage. They're sending in the blast, FN coming on through, and DM will actually get the kill there. Mastery trying to sneak in around the side. I'm kind of wondering why the Abaddon's trying to loop around the back here. What does a flanking Abaddon do to a team fight? I think the answer is going to be not a whole lot. Running out of options here, and finding himself covered in a nasty rash of Radiant heroes, just all over him, sitting on top of him.
Yeah, it was his fastest way to the Wraith King. He was like trying to get in there to cash shield, but then he realized the Wraith King's already dead. So it's like backpedaling. It's like, you guys don't see me here, but nope, they definitely see him.
Interesting to say.
That's like the same exact place where Wraith King died. The same exact place where he died the first time when they went up the bottom lane. Oh boy.
Sloppy from Empire.
Yeah, lane of death. Bottom lane. Lane of death.
Uh-oh. James, can he get the snowball off? He cannot. See you later, buddy.
It's not buyback either. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed. He's going to be out of the mix for
4 versus 5
seconds.
Fight for this Rax here, bottom.
Lena just trying to get the stuns out onto the Ember Spirit, but he's got the Glimmer Cape. They have got the dust to see him, but DM, he's just going to call the shots here. They could go to top if they really wanted to, but they don't. They will let the range barracks stay, but getting the important barracks can get themselves out. And getting a decent amount of damage up onto these unhealable range barracks as well.
Yeah, it looks like the outposts are coming online in 30 seconds. Let's see if they're able to go back to the top lane and get that outpost back. For BP, that might be their next course of action here. Or just collect 4 bounties, or 3 bounties at least. Oh, no, that NP's doing it. They're doing it.
They're going for it. Yeah, no response.
They got it. Oh, whoa, Ember bottom. BKB. That was not planned.
Oh, you spotted it. Yeah, that's your
yeah. Listen, you can hear that Black King bar sound anywhere on the map, alright? So, if you're clicking Black King bar and I'm watching a game, I'm gonna point it out.
I'm gonna know about it.
We got him. We got him. You'll always see no Black King bar misclicks will be missed.
That's a promise.
Oh, Razor.
Razor, he's just getting tickled a bit. Actually gets his butterfly delivered to him in a very timely fashion here. Shot. Oh, not on the market.
Guess who's TPing in?
That would be Mr. Wraith King.
She actually canceled it.
Okay. Oh, was that the Ember? Oh, right, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, on the outpost. Yeah, it's still gonna be so confusing to see someone like TP from Radiant side on an area like that. But I'm still getting used to that.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, it's undoing like years of Dota knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Wraith King. Are they actually gonna do this on the underworld? Nope, they decided against it. Smart choice.
They're just playing. To be fair, Wraith King does not have much health, and he's going forward here onto the Razor, trying to take him down, but Razor's perfectly fine. The double 4-staff away, setting him miles away from that team fight. And
bottom lane. It's a rat.
Good. Oh, we didn't actually manage to get the little building there, but there we go. Those only give money if you get the last hit on them, right?
You know what? I'm sorry, but I don't know. I think yes. I don't even know if they give you money anymore.
Who knows? Who knows? They've changed this.
Yeah.
So many times. What happened to the statues as well? These guys have only got 1 statue up. And Ekanaz has. That was a cool feature. Still is. Anyway, middle tier 2 tower goes down. That's going to go to Epileptic Kid, taking the gold for that one, and closing out the final outer tower off the map, so meaning they can take any barracks. They managed to break high ground once again. Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like it's VP show at this point, and Empire just waiting for that mistake to come out where they catch like a random Rubik or a Nature's Prophet who's sitting out where they shouldn't be. Here they see 2 cores, and they just saw the Rubik run away. There it is, the Silver Edge going into effect.
It's doing a little bit, not much though, as they just kind of, jump in to TP. Oh no, he missed the back. Oh god, Spider Legs helping him out a bit though. Helping him out a lot actually. Roshan suddenly spawning, which they might not be too happy about as he was planning to get around the back of that pit before stuff. But Mastery just kind of playing around a little bit here with that Rubik. And actually, there's a couple more heroes turning up to this one maybe. Let's see.
Oh, that's Spider Legs.
He's dead.
Freaking...
He's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
That saved him. No pun intended.
Absolutely, yeah. Save. Thank you very much. Tusk going to be an extra +1 here, just staying a little bit too long out of that creep wave, not respecting Virtus.Pro at all, and will be losing his life for that. You've got to say, it's been a pretty rough one for this Tusk. Without looking, can you guess how many deaths he's had?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and guess 11, and I'm gonna click on him right now.
A little bit too high. He's got 9 deaths.
Alright,
Still alive. A bit too many, I think. Meanwhile, Eknart being dived under the tower here. There's going to be another support going down with that BKB from Epileptic Kid. Meanwhile, they've got the Wraith King held still, and his damage sapped away by the barracks. They have brought back on the Grimstroke, trying to make his way over here, but look at the damage just pouring out onto the Wraith King. He's going to lose his life just as quickly as he loses the first one. Yules comes out onto the Grimstroke here, keeping him still and getting that kill, and the GGs are coming out. Just like that. They'll take the game. VP.Prodigy, I want to say they didn't break a sweat. They did break a sweat. They had some issues, but to be fair, it wasn't anything which ever made them feel like they were losing the game.